Four photographs of people presenting appear. Text appears on the screen. Accessible presentations, a guide for AHEAD presenters.
Hello, my name is Melanie Thornton, and I'm the coordinator of Access and Equity Outreach at the University of Arkansas Partners for Inclusive Communities. I'm really pleased to be able to provide AHEAD presenters with this quick video tutorial on making your presentation accessible. There are clearly many elements to consider when designing an accessible presentation. The focus of this video will be primarily on creating accessible slide presentations, but I'll touch on other considerations and provide you with additional resources. So, what makes a slide presentation accessible? The information on the slide needs to provide good visibility and be accessible to those using screen reader and text-to-speech technologies.
As a presentation designer, you'll want to consider the items in this list. First, good contrast. Make sure the slide provides good contrast between the text and the background of the slide. Font size. Make sure the text on your slide is 28 point or larger. Slide layouts. Use existing slide layouts rather than starting with a blank slide and adding text boxes. Headings. Use a unique heading or slide title on each slide. Text alternatives. Provide text descriptions of images and charts in your slides. Hyperlinks. Use meaningful link descriptions. Outline view. Make sure the text on your slides shows up in the outline view. And finally, accessibility checker. Use Microsoft PowerPoints built-in accessibility checker to double-check your work. Fortunate for us, AHEAD's Manager of Communication and Special Events, Valerie Spears, has created 2 PowerPoint templates for our use at the AHEAD conference. Both templates provide good contrast and have the default font sizes set to a 28-point font or greater. Let's take a look at those. The first has a dark blue background with white text. The template includes the AHEAD conference logo in the top left-hand corner, the dates and location in the top right, and the AHEAD logo at the bottom center. All of these are white. The other option is a white background with black text. This one has a light blue banner at the top with the AHEAD conference logo in orange and blue and the dates and location in dark blue on the right-hand side. The AHEAD logo at the bottom center is dark blue. I'll use this one to demonstrate how to ensure your slide presentation is accessible. When you download the templates, you'll notice there are a few slides already created for you. First, the title slide with a reminder about respectful cell phone use. Second, a statement about conference culture, which reads, "We ask you to join us in creating a culture that reflects access and inclusion and civility and respect this week and in all aspects of our organization." And third, a reminder to complete the evaluation, which reads, "Please see session moderator for paper evaluation form or complete the evaluation online." The conference planners ask us to keep these slides in place and then add our slides to them beginning right after the conference culture slide. The layout options available to us are a title slide, a slide heading and 1 content area, a slide heading with 2 content areas, and a section header. When you create a slide, make sure you always use a heading or slide title. This practice provides good landmarks for those using screen readers and makes it much easier to follow along and navigate the slides. All of your headings should be unique. So if you have content that flows from one slide to the other, make sure that the title of the second slide is different in some way. Here is an example of 2 slides with statistics. The first slide is labeled Statistics and has a bulleted list of 4 items labeled Statistic 1, 2, 3, and 4. The statistics continue on the second slide, but instead of naming the second slide Statistics, I've named it Statistics Continued. If you are trying to create a certain look and don't want to have a heading to show on your slide, simply make the heading the same color as the background. Here's an example of a quote where I've done just that. It reads, "Disability isn't the problem. What's the problem is convincing others that it's not a problem." Lice Carey. If I put my cursor here in the heading section and highlight it, you can see that there is a heading there that reads Carey quote, but it doesn't show on the slide visually. You'll also want to make sure that you provide alternative text for all of your images. I'll demonstrate how that is done in PowerPoint for you. I'm going to choose the slide layout with the title and 2 content areas. I'll create a slide titled Common Barriers in Exam Design. In the left-hand content area, I'll add some bullet points about barriers. I'm typing timed exams and scantrons. On the right, I want to add my image. To do that, I can either select the image icon in the content area or choose Insert, then Picture, and select a picture from my files. Once I select my image of the Scantron form, I right-click on it and choose Format Picture. The Format dialog box should appear to the right of the slide editing area. Select the Layout and Properties tab and then select Alt Text. Type a description of the image in the box labeled Description. There is no need to type image of or picture of, simply describe what is in the image. In this case, I'll say a pencil and eraser on a Scantron answer sheet with bubbles filled in. This will make this image accessible in PowerPoint and also accessible after it is converted to a PDF. The final topic I'd like to address before we check our work is hyperlinks. On this slide, I show 2 ways people often share links. The first shows a URL that reads http://disability-as-diversity-postsecondary/. While this URL is fairly clear, it is still cumbersome, and many URLs are not even this helpful. Many have a string of numbers or characters and don't really give the user a clear picture of where the URL will take them. A clearer way to provide a link is to use this second format. The link description reads Explore Access: Disability as Diversity Toolkit. To create a link like this, type the text you want to use. I'm typing Explore Access: Disability as Diversity Toolkit. Highlight the text and choose Insert and then Hyperlink. Then paste the URL of the web page in the box labeled Address. Now it's time to check your work. First, look at the outline view of the slide to make sure that all of your headings and text show up there. To do this, select View and then Outline View. Alternative text won't show up in this view, but you should see all of the other text from your slide in the outline. Notice each slide has a heading or slide title followed by the other content. Next, run the accessibility checker. To use the accessibility checker, choose File, Check for Issues, then Check Accessibility. It is important, though, to not rely solely on the accessibility checker, as it can't identify all accessibility errors. For example, whether or not alt text provides an accurate description or if color contrast is adequate require a manual check. Once you have checked and corrected any problems, it's time to convert your PowerPoint to a PDF. To do this, choose File, then Save as Adobe PDF. Do not choose Print to PDF, as your accessibility features will not convey. Next, select the Options button at the bottom of the dialog box. When the next dialog box appears, make sure the checkbox labeled Enable Accessibility and Reflow with tagged Adobe PDF is checked. Next, select OK and then Save. Once you've finished, you can send both the PDF and the original PowerPoint no later than June 24th to Carol Funkus at carol@ahead.org. Photo of participants sitting at a table with handouts on the table. We've covered the primary considerations to make your slide presentation accessible. It's also important, though, to ensure handouts are accessible. Below this video are links to resources on making Microsoft Word documents accessible. If you're showing videos, make sure they are captioned and audio described. Audience claps for female presenter as a video plays behind her. An interpreter interprets at the AHEAD conference. When you arrive to the room where you will be presenting, provide interpreters or CART providers with copies of your slides or other helpful information, and talk to them about your plans for the presentation that might be helpful to them. A presenter presents to the left of the screen with the CART screen to the far right. Be sure to consider your setup so that the interpreters or CART screen are not blocked by presenters or panelists. Check to make sure your videos are ready to play and that the captions are working. Presenters sit at a table with microphones in front of them. You'll want to use the microphones during your presentations, and you'll also want to make sure that the audience questions are spoken into the mic. So make a plan to ensure that attendees with questions have access to the mic. Your moderator can assist you in figuring out the best plan for this. Don't assume that everyone can see or read your slides. Be sure to speak all of the information provided on your slides. And finally, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the AHEAD staff or other members of AHEAD. I hope your presentation goes well and that you enjoy presenting at the conference. Boston Skyline and Conference Hotel with text below, 2019 Equity and Excellence Access in Higher Education, Tuesday through Saturday, July 9 through 13, Weston, Boston, Waterfront, Boston, Massachusetts.